I haven't posted anything in a few days because I've been, oddly enough, kind of busy and actually doing fun things, which is a good thing. I suppose also a bad thing is I haven't really been sticking with this. So, more positive than negative? Eh? Oh! No. Damn it. Friday I went and hung out with a friend of mine who just got a new puppy. It's a Great Dane, and right now it weighs 29 pounds and is still this big and about this tall, and it's only 8 weeks old. When it's fully grown, I think it'll be about 4.5 feet tall, which is kind of scary, because you think about it, that's basically a 150-pound puppy that's going to be running around for like a year. Needless to say, I feel sorry for her furniture and anything that she owns. So the other thing that happened that night was pretty much we just relaxed, caught up on old times, and watched TV on her massive HD television. I think it's like a 60-incher, I'm not too sure. All I know is one, I'm very jealous she has that, and two, I'm pretty much fucking upset with her that she doesn't have an Xbox, a Wii, or a PlayStation for the damn thing. I mean, it's pretty much a TV that is designed for video games. Well, as far as I'm concerned, all TVs are designed for video games, but this one's massive, utterly huge, and it would look great with high-definition Xbox or PS3 action type stuff going on. But sadly, she doesn't have one. After getting home on Saturday at a rather late amount, because pretty much both me and my friend were lazy and just kind of kicked around the house, I did squat off for the afternoon, and then headed over to my friend's place, which became the adventure of how I managed to prove to myself that we, as men, pretty much like to fuck things up constantly. And yes, I said that right. Basically, it was a simple thing of go to my friend's place with my road bike, and we were going to do a simple thing of take out the back tire and switch it for a new one. Simple, right? Wrong. Pretty much what ended up happening was I go over there and the first thing I hear from my friend is, oh, well that's not a good thing. Which starts the night of interesting adventures of rather hilarious proportions. So, on the back wheel, you have something called a cassette, which has all of your gears. Leave it at that simple explanation. So he pulls out the wheel and it doesn't have a cassette, which I kind of hoped it did, because the one I have on my bike right now is a 6 gear and the one I used to have is a 5 gear, which makes my current chain kind of do some weird shit. Oh well. So we do a simple thing of, well, we'll just take that one off and put it on that one. And that's pretty much where it all horribly went wrong. One would think that doing something like this would be easy. It turns out it's not. Turns out you need a very special little tool to plug into something and disattach this little cassette thing and some reverse setting weird magic shit. Long story short, we goofed around with it for a couple of hours, trying everything from hammers to ball peen hammers to rubber hammers to screwdrivers to wrenchers to squaring to WD-40 to a bunch of other tools, and failed every single time. I think we actually managed to tighten the thing instead of loosening it more than a few times. We did have a friend that has that little item that we needed, but he was out of Joe, so we couldn't use it. So eventually I'm just like, alright, I'll leave my bike here, and I'll go to my place. So I do. I get a ride home. We bump into said friend, we mention this thing to him, he's like, I'll find it, we'll see you tomorrow, voila. So I get home, goof around for a bit, I go to sleep. The bike adventure continues later on Sunday. Now, one of the other things I've been doing for the last little while is sleeping on a air mattress, which on last Thursday decided suddenly to spring an imaginary invisible leak, which I haven't managed to find. So I bitched about this on Thursday, and then Friday on my Facebook finally just said, fuck it, I need something new to sleep on. So I started looking around to, buy something. Which again proves the fact that I've got some extremely good friends. One of my friends sent down from my hometown 2 foamies that I can use as a bed, and then one of my other friends randomly just messaged me on Friday saying, if you're still looking for a bed, I have a futon, which leads us to Sunday morning. Now, the foamies went from my friend to her mom to outside of my town to her uncle and his place. Now, originally I was going to go to there and pick them up with a couple of friends and then drive it back home, because that would be the nice thing, given the fact of the matter that so far I don't have to pay for them or pay for any gas money, and I don't want to be a pain in the ass to complete strangers. What ends up happening? Said friend's uncle just decided, screw it, I'll just drop it off myself. Which was kind of a surprise to me, and also extremely nice. I mean, I didn't pay for these things, and here everyone's just helping me the hell out. Go for positive thoughts. So, foamies, yay. So then a few minutes later, a friend of mine arrives with the futon. Now, the deal with the futon was he had gotten it from somebody else, and long story short, he had to ask that person to make sure it was okay to give me the futon. So basically, I end up with a futon temporarily. I think basically it's the sort of thing of, well, if that person doesn't want to allow me to lend it to you or give it to you, then I'll just take it back. Well, I don't really care too much because I've got the foamy, so I've got a foamy and I've got a futon. Basically, I've got a bed and a couch, or a bed, couch, thing, and a spare bed. Yay! Which is a good thing for me, because now I'm no longer sleeping on an air mattress that like just suddenly deflate randomly throughout the night and, you know, kind of screw up my back a little bit. And quite frankly, I forgot how enjoyable it was to have a couch to sit on at all. So that was the morning. The afternoon was a fun time of hanging out in a sword shop, and I don't care who you are, but the simple fact of the matter is going into a shop like that and looking at tons and tons and tons of very expensive metal things that go pokey is pretty goddamn awesome. Basically just swords from everywhere, and knives, and flashlights, and probably a whole bunch of stuff that I missed. And randomly enough, replica helmets, which I'm not sure if they were built better or worse than back then. They seem pretty damn solid, and yes, I was kind of tempted to buy a few things, but the problem is I don't have any money for stuff like that, and I mean, what would I do with a weird helmet? Besides wander around downtown and just creep people out. Of course, that would probably end up with me getting shot, which wouldn't exactly be such a nice experience. Well, if you were me. Maybe if you were somebody else, you might find that funny. Basically we go to a store and we buy the little bit, because the one friend couldn't find his little bit tool that plugs into the cassette that takes off the cassette to switch it onto the new tire. So basically we go to the store and we buy the damn thing. So basically we get back to my friend's place and we bring the new tool and we start trying to do something that we shouldn't have done. Pretty much, here's a little free piece of advice. If you just bought a tool that you're not familiar with and you're trying to figure out how to use it, either one, read the instruction manual, or two, go to the goddamn internet and find out how to use it. The shortened version is, we used tool, slightly bent tool, used it a little more, and then managed to completely fuck the tool up. Now, granted, it's only a small piece of metal, but needless to say, it was kind of impressive finding out that we managed to shear off a part of it. One of the most random parts of definitely fixing the bike was the initial part on Saturday when we looked at my back wheel. Now, if you have 2 spokes missing on a tire, that's perfectly fine. If you have a bent axle and 5 spokes missing, you're pretty much waiting for your bike to pick you up and throw you in the nearest bit of danger. You can pretty much take your pick. Under a car, in front of a car, in front of a bunch of people, into a brick wall, over a wall, into the ocean, into a pot of fire. I don't really fucking know. Maybe the damn thing will flip you 20 feet in the air and smack you into a pole. But pretty much what would happen is, if any more spokes started to break, wheel goes flat, you go that-a-way, or that way, or that way, I don't really know, and frankly I don't really care. That's probably the best part about taking apart the road bike, was finding out that, yeah, my bike was in pretty much a bad bit of danger, and it's a damn good thing I'm not on it right now. Of course, then it also leads me to the part of why I'm slightly ominous of any of my friends going, here, just touch this, or here, come over and check this out, because usually it ends up with me ending up in some sort of pain. Like Sunday, me slightly being electrocuted by a small camera that one of my friends had taken apart and decided to chase me around the room with. Now, it wasn't a huge bit of electricity, but I certainly don't want to touch the damn thing again, and oddly enough, the one electrical burn has now turned into 6 different little spots, which oddly enough line up to the exact little posts on the small exposed little electrical board. So all in all, it was a great weekend. I mean, from start to finish, I had a lot of things to do. I wasn't bored at all, and didn't really even have time to think. And I think that was the best part about it. I didn't have to think on planning or call anybody up. It just all kind of happened. And oddly enough, I wouldn't even skip the part where I got electrocuted. Because frankly, it's one of those stupid guy things that you just do. It was funny, it was random, it was retarded, you don't want to do it again, but the moment itself was amusing. That being said, I wouldn't mind finding out a way to get even with said friend, perhaps with a paintball gun.